All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
the big nerd.
Welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Of course, I'm your host, Lance Migliaccio, with my co-host, George Valentine. It's Rise and Grind, tip of the spear. We're back in the saddle, of course. Took a little off break. George was busting his ass with Snowmageddon, exhausted, beat up, tired, shoveling ice, shoveling snow, pretty much hating all of it. George, what's up?
Sunday wasn't bad because it was a light powdered snow, and I went out 3 times, cleared every 5 inches, 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
It was Monday with the ice that came down, which was, it was doing that one day was worse than doing it 3 times the day before. It was crazy. It was because there was ice on top, and I hear neighbors cracking at it this in the morning. I'm like, I'm going to wait till the sun comes out, wait till mid-afternoon. So
Did it help you waiting, or did it just make it? I always worry about the melting because then it gets heavy and wet.
It wasn't that warm to get heavy and wet. Just enough to break it. So I broke it and busted out the snowblower.
Nice.
We had to break all that. I got 2 driveways, long sidewalk, a side path. It was freaking a lot of shit.
Yeah. It is what it is, but of course that's how the weather goes. So we gave George a break. Plus, I thought the news cycle for everybody out there, don't get me wrong. It's big news. Lots going on in Minneapolis. But Jesus, the news cycle is just Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Tim Walz, Minneapolis. Just on and on and on and on. It just goes nonstop. So sometimes when you're doing these shows, you really want to dig deeper and you want to give people more information than what's just on the surface. So there are times we're going through the news cycle and we're like, is there other stuff that they're trying to make sure we don't hear about? So what do? They flood the news cycle with just the same stories over and over and over again. So we've been looking around quite a bit. I think we've got a great show for you guys today. Of course, the big news is probably gold and silver. Silver 108, gold 51.20 right now. Man, hopefully you guys listened, bought yourself some gold and silver. We always talk about our friends over at Genesis Gold Group. Appreciate their sponsorship of the show. But of course, we've been talking about gold and silver for over 2 years. Not financial advice ever, just educational advice. This is the Prepper Bar. You know it. Lots of people love it. The 62.2 gram Prepper Bar, available in gold and silver, mined and minted in the great US of A. Comes with an assay report. The counterfeit gold and silver on fire on eBay. Okay, I'm hearing all kinds of stories about it. Be careful. Okay, even maybe going to pawn shops, you got to be careful. So, of course, this bar, you can see there's 3 different denominations on there, of course, which fits a multitude of needs. So you can keep it in your wallet, break off a small piece and make a payment. And I don't care whether you use gold and silver for diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its very unique utility for barter and trade. The Prepper Bar is making a perfect gift for all those people out there that love bullion. Even people that don't love bullion at these prices are going to be happy to have some they can just hold on to just in case. They got them in stock. They're available right now. Don't wait. You never know when there's going to be a shortage. We're telling you that the silver shortage is real. It's coming. And there's going to be a copper shortage, just so you know. I'm telling you up front, copper is going to be going through the roof also eventually. Available now, thebigmigbar.com, all caps, Prepper, P-R-E, P-P-R, P-R-E, P-P-R. 10% off on the silver, 5% off on the gold, which when you think about 5% off on the gold, that is a gigantic discount now with these prices. Or you can call 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154, thebigmigbar.com. That's right, thebigmigbar.com, all caps, Prepper. Call the phone number. We'll put up the QR code for you later. George is a little tired, I know, so We'll get it up there later for you. thebigmigbar.com.
Oops, my bad. I had the ticker going though.
Oh, there it is. There's that little. Yeah, you did have the ticker going though. I saw the ticker, so you had that also. So head over there, check it out after the show. Don't go there now. Of course, we've got a great show.
No, don't go there now. But what? Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
Boom. He's not tired. Too tired to do the jingle, so we appreciate that. All right, so let me start here. There's always something more than what you see. We tell you a lot on this show. We've uncovered lots and lots of news stories for you. We told you, early on about all kinds of things with Venezuela. We told you things about election fraud. We've told you things about the medical industry and what's going on. We've told you all kinds of stuff. And we had great guests with lots of things. I'm going to tell you that when you see these protests across the nation, you have to look past the protest. You have to ask yourself, are your friends and neighbors participating? And I don't mean that you don't, because we all have friends that don't agree with our politics, but are they out there protesting? And I bet you the answer is no. So you got to ask yourself, why do all these people show up, all these Karens, and why do some people show up protest after protest after protest? And how are they being told where to show up? And why are they showing up in places far away from their own homes? We heard about people being bussed into Biden, appearances. We heard the same thing for Kamala Harris. Yeah, but Biden was the same thing, and then here comes Harris. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. There is a nefarious plot. There are multiple individuals involved, okay? And they are funding this stuff intentionally with the intent to destroy the country from within. Because division and chaos is a tool of the deep state. They don't want you to be friends. But it's interesting, when we've had people that were left-leaning on the show, their politics are very similar to ours, that they want a safe country. They want a financially sound country. They want to be able to protect their families. But when you see the rhetoric online, you have to ask yourself, how are these people so extreme? Where are they getting their scripts from? And it is a script. You're now hearing stories about the communication in the Signal chat rooms, the coordination against ICE ICE employees. You've heard about how they're getting access to license plate lookup directories, which is not easy to do. You have to have access to the law enforcement databases. That information about license plates is just not readily available. George, it's interesting. It's not. I saw you make a face. It's interesting how difficult it is to get a license plate. Even trying to use the tools online, a lot of times they don't come up.
On the paid sites?
The paid sites are not even as valuable. I'm not saying none of them, but could you afford to pay for looking up license plates nonstop to identify all the individuals in Minneapolis as an example? No, you'd have to have a database that's being paid for by somebody or free. And what I am telling you is that there are billionaires whose intent is to destroy the country. We've talked about George and Alexander Soros and how much money they stole from USAID and the American people.
It's funny you bring them up because somebody had a question in the chat saying, why is George Soros allowed to disrupt American society?
That's a very, very
I know why.
Intelligent question. George, the man in the front row, go ahead.
Because George Soros has a lot of money, and with having a lot of money, he gives a lot to the Democrats, funnels money back to them. And what better way to discredit MAGA and Republicans, conservatives, is to sow chaos and disrupt our unity. And they're doing it.
But George Soros doesn't use his own money. He gets his money from USAID. Open Society has 64 separate NGOs.
He uses his own money too.
I do not believe George Soros is using his own money.
No, he uses his own money too. He may use that money for so those money he's getting for the NGOs. He's using that. Plus, that money's being funneled back to politicians. Just a way, just another trick and stuff. But he also uses his money too.
I think it's unlikely that he's using his money, but we'll just agree to disagree on that.
Okay.
I personally think that he is being funded, and then you're right. You just nailed what happens. He's being funded, the agreement to be funded, and then he's taking that money and giving it back to politicians in their campaigns. I mean, think about it. Open Society had 64 NGOs that were receiving money out of USAID. Elon Musk was disclosing it. I think he's weaponized the system, him and Alexander. I mean, Alexander can't string one sentence together. He sounded like a complete moron at Davos, a complete idiot. Now, at the end of the day, yes, they made their own money. Yes, that gave them leverage and power, but I think they also figured how to game the system. And there's more than just those two. We're going to cover a guy today.
I have a question. I got something. I looked it up. So George Soros frequently donates often in tens of millions from his personal funds and affiliated investment entities to support Democratic candidates.
I know that's what it probably says online on Google and otherwise, but I would argue that I don't believe he's giving as much of his money as what the news and media contend.
If you have to look, when you look at political donations, you have to put where the money's coming from, So, in that sense, I have to respectfully disagree.
I just don't believe
it will show in the sheets and stuff. So
I think when you're getting hundreds of millions of dollars from USAID, you figure ways to funnel that money around. When you've got 64 NGOs, when you've got Open Society, when he's got other money laundering operations, I think he's able to jock that money around, make it look like it's his, take salaries to him and himself out of the NGOs. I am sure that guy is crafty. So I don't believe it. I think he's too rotten and miserable and cheap to ever put his money where his mouth is. I think the fact that he's able to steal these tremendous amounts of money from our own, taxpayers and has done a very good job of doing it. I think Neville Singham is who we're going to be talking about today. And
wait, you're going to play the fucking set the mood? You were talking about that and you just went off the rails.
I just want to tell them what we're going to be doing today. So Neville Singham, I believe he's working with the CCP. I think the CCP is giving him some of the money, and they are funding these protesters. They are funding these disruptive events all over the country. You've heard about it. It's not a surprise that billionaires, and we've seen it with people like Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, they're disruptive, all to their own ends. It's no doubt that the people, the Davos elites, that's what they want. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn founder, he's another one. But today we're going to be exposing Neville Singham. Bill O'Reilly just did it. It's going to be a lot of information. But this will tell you why these people are so fervent, why they are so focused on destroying our country in these protests, why they're turning out in droves, because they're being paid. And these operations are more sophisticated behind the scenes. This character, Singham, lives in China. He's a CCP turncoat, in my opinion. He's working with the Chinese government. Of course, they want to destroy the country from within. That we've always been in their way. So, and I think they're a much bigger threat than Russia ever has been. But let's do this first. Let's set the mood. Tim Walz, he's a piece of shit. And the truth of the matter is, I think he is much guiltier. I just heard he's called in the National Guard to protect the Minneapolis people from ICE. That means he just called in the military, National Guard, which are reserve military, in to defend those people from our own federal government, who is in there trying to arrest serious criminals. George, was there truth in the head of the Border Patrol? Is he resigning?
Who?
Or is he being moved out?
Bavino?
Yeah.
He's just being moved out of Minnesota.
Okay. I didn't know if that had finally become true. I hate it. I really think Bavino was doing a good job. All right.
I mean,
let's play.
Hold on. You want to? He's doing a good job, but I don't know. It's too much chaos over there in Minnesota right now. But anyway, I'll play the thing. Let's play it.
That's Somali waltz. In Mogadishu, Minnesota, you might have heard there's quite a load of money missing, new millionaires, all the kids are leering in fake daycares. The Somali waltz, the Somali waltz, it's the same old song. The Somali waltz, it's sad but true. They're screwing you, dancing
If you need a green card. Da, 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 da. Catchy, a very catchy little tune right there, the Somali Waltz. All right, so let's dig in. Neville Singham's CCP plot to destroy America, but he's not the only one. As you guys saw, News Nation just covered a piece of this. Bill O'Reilly. We talked about Singham a couple of months ago. He's a Connecticut-born tech billionaire, of course, now living in Shanghai, China, living the life of luxury, very popular in the communist government. What? What do you
Renee loves Jesus. Goes, my boss just caught me dancing at my desk.
There you go.
Wait, I got to put that up. Hold on. Let me find it. That is hysterical.
Yeah, that can happen. Here on the Big Mig Show,
I'm going to put that up on the banner so everybody can see that one.
Yeah. Sometimes you get caught dancing here with the Big Mig guys on the Big Mig Show. We want you to dance. We also want you to educate.
Oh, I have a thing for Renee. Renee, just tell your boss that you're just so happy and proud and honored and gratified to be here at work. So you just want to show your dance moves.
Yes,
say some shit like that. I don't know.
Well, you know what? We might need, George, that's a great idea. Maybe we need to have the top 10 or 15 or 20 excuses people can use. Because some people are listening to the podcast, they're listening on Spotify or Apple. We need to give them a tool set just in case the boss thinks, what are you listening to? They can go, oh, I'm digging into marketing ideas for the company. You know, you got to have quick responses if you get caught watching the Big Mig Show. But look, Singham is funneling tens of millions, probably more, into U.S. radical organizations. He wants to incite professional agitators and communists, all in service of Beijing's agenda to undermine and destroy the American government. And this isn't some grassroots uprising. It's a calculated foreign influence operation, of course, masquerading, in my opinion, as domestic activism. Riley, of course, went out. He drew from congressional investigations, media exposés, and online chatter, and lots of people. Even Laura Loomer mentioned it. But of course, Singham's web of dark money. He's got cozy ties to the Chinese Communist Party. I believe he's committed FARA violations. And you have to ask how his funding is fueling division, riots, and of course, anti-American fervor. It's going on across the nation. You've seen the turnouts. You've heard about the protesters being bussed in. You got to look at, for example, of course, the anti-ICE clashes and those in Minnesota, pro-Palestine campus takeovers. I mean, he's trying to be stealthy. He's working, of course, on America's, stability, trying to make us unstable. He's using our own mainstream media against us, and they're going along with it. Of course, they're being bought for the money. And he's exploiting allegedly free speech, but he's using it for subversion. He wants to create, division, discord, and weaken the republic from within. This is a nefarious plot, and you have to think about this. He's really become Beijing's proxy. He's a self-proclaimed socialist, although he made his money here in the U.S. when he sold his company for hundreds of millions of dollars. He relocated to Shanghai. He's sharing office with CCP-aligned media outfits. And he's using U.S. nonprofits to promote Chinese propaganda and, of course, lots of anti-U.S. narratives. Now, he uses a dark money pipeline. I mentioned it earlier. He's got shell companies and donor-advised funds like the United Community Fund and Justice and Education Fund, like the title of that one, George, Justice and Education Fund. He's poured over $20 million into groups that organize disruptive protests. He pays protesters. They target ICE, our own police, and, of course, our U.S. foreign policy, attacking the administration any way they can to undermine it. And he's trying to foster rebellion. He's backing all these far-left entities. They've been tied to BLM, riots in Los Angeles, campus events, which, of course, we've seen that bullshit, anti-Israeli activism. He's aligning with the CCP strategies, of course, to distract and divide the country, because division and chaos is a tool of the left. George, we've talked about it so many times. And, we've always said, where's the congressional oversight? Where's the scrutiny?
Now you're asking for a lot, Lance. I mean, why are we still dealing with the CCP? Why don't we just put 100%, just put 200% tariffs on them bastards? Let's kill all their manufacturing, bring it back here. I don't even care. Send it to India for, whatever. Just get it out of China. But
yeah,
how many pockets do the Chinese have of the politicians? I mean,
did you hear about how they had accessed emails in the UK and here in the US? Did you hear about that news?
No, but I mean, the Chinese, they have more than just the pockets. I mean, look at Eric Swalwell. They had his freaking whole pants down.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the driver. Pelosi had a driver that was spying on her.
No, that was
wasn't that Pelosi?
No, that was the other old hag that passed away.
Feinstein.
Feinstein.
Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. But look, congressional scrutiny. You do have lawmakers. You got James Comer, Anna Paulina. They're probing Singham for potential FARA, but he definitely has. They should be seizing his assets. I don't know if he's worse than George Soros. A lot of people want to label him that. I don't know if I agree it, but Singham, of course, has denied being a CCP agent. He says he doesn't take orders from any political party or government, though the evidence of his collaboration seems to persist. And his original money comes from a company called ThoughtWorks. He sold it in 2017 for $785 million, and then he moved to Shanghai. And of course, he's openly embraced Maoist ideologies. And if you know anything about Mao, you know what kind of an individual he was. He attends CCP workshops on international promotion. And then his wife, Jody Evans, she's just as big a scumbag. She's the co-founder of Code Pink, which amplifies, of course, pro-China stances. And just like what they did to the Uyghurs, all the detention and the murdering, and they're calling this anti-terror measures, which is not true. And they funded all these radical left agitators. So listen to this: the Party of Socialism and Liberation, that's PSL, the Democratic Socialists of America, the Minnesota Immigration Rights Action Committee, the People's Forum, Answer Coalition, and Shut It Down for Palestine. And they've been implicated in anti-ICE protests, BLM events, LA riots, all the university unrest, encampments, all that turning. Their plan always is as much chaos as freaking possible. So, this is a lot. Singham co-produces content with the Maku group, which is a CCP propaganda machine. And they clearly display a loyalty to Xi Jinping. They fund outlets like NewsClick India, Brazil Defado in Brazil, New Frame in South Africa, which has been about framing the white farmers as terrorists living in their own country. They always echo Beijing's talking points on issues like Taiwan, Hong Kong, and U.S. Let me slow this down. U.S. imperialism. So this is all about their strategy, all about discord. They always want to. That's what they want to do. They create chaos, and of course, that makes us focus on that chaos and takes our intent on making the country unified and growing American interest and protecting democracy and protecting the American people. Now, this is where I think we're not getting it done. I think the FBI and legal heat has not been turned up enough. I think you have to look at we're getting congressional demands, but I don't believe in congressional demands for sanction and asset freezes. How about the DOJ and the FBI going into overdrive on these scumbags? Reid Hoffman's another one. The Soros is more of it. We're just not getting what we need. And of course, what the intent of these people is, they use global reach for local impact. They do whatever they can backing anti-Western movements worldwide, right? And then they focus their funding, Students for Socialism, right? These are non-students at 50 protests. Venezuelan hands off. Of course, they want to fracture society. They want to cause that division. They want you to turn against your neighbor and your own family members that don't agree with your political. And I think, George, when we look at this, there's got to be urgent calls to action. This has to happen because these are the kind of people with this kind of money, whether they're using their own money or whether they're stealing money from the American taxpayer. This is dangerous. And it's not when you hear that, oh, it's dangerous for our democracy. No, this is dangerous for everybody. These are the masters of division, and they are using tremendous amounts of capital to make it look like you and your neighbors don't agree. Because there are many people that will sell themselves out for money. So, George, let's talk about maybe what we can do. What could happen here when we talk about these urgent calls for action?
Lance, I still see Soros and his son doing it. So will anything ever be done with this guy when they haven't even done nothing with Soros? They're still walking around. I mean, they have residences in New York. Easy, go lock their asses up. They were in Davos, his son. You could have picked them up over there, unless you can't do that in the Swiss. I don't know. But do you think anything actual will ever be done? I mean, I don't know.
Here's my take. I think that investigative reports aren't enough. I think at the end of the day, when you look at mainstream media, let me ask you this.
What are you saying?
Have you seen mainstream media covering anything on these operations?
No. Are you saying that investigative reports or clown show hearings in front of Congress won't do anything?
Look, it's great to be an investigative journalist. We do it all the time. We try to keep you guys well educated. We don't play with the mainstream. We're not bought and paid for. People have attempted to do it with us. We just don't take the money. At the end of the day, sure, we need money. Sure, we need Rumble Rant tips. Sure, we need paid subscriptions. We have to make money to do these shows because there's a lot of costs. Doesn't matter. Anytime a piece of equipment goes down, you got to replace it. New technology comes out. You got to keep up the speed. George is always looking at new things that he can improve the show or improve the quality of the feed or whatever. It all costs money. But what's interesting is the mainstream media outlets, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, they've ignored this or they've downplayed Reid Hoffman's role. They've downplayed Singham's role. They've downplayed the Soros's role. They selectively cover George Soros and Alexander Soros, right? There's lots of explosive revelations. Even the New York Times covered Singham's, involvement and ties to Chinese propaganda in 2023. But a lot of the parallel reporting never happened, right? They like to frame, and you'll see it online. They'll frame these guys as philanthropists. They're social influencers trying to make up, a difference with progressive causes. They'll frame it in a manner that's bullshit. Why? Because they get away with it, because they've got a big window. Too many people still tuning into CNN and MSNBC. Not enough people turning into the Big Mig Show. Again, I'm not trying to blow our own horn. I'm just saying this is the truth. These four individuals are very lucky that I am not president of the United States. Most people would probably call me a dictator. I would be going after these people with a vengeance. And if I couldn't get Pam Bondi to go after the enemies of the United States, if I couldn't get the right investigations done, I can tell you I'd be yanking people out of their positions. I wouldn't be tolerant. I wouldn't put up with it. I mean, Soros, Hungarian-born billionaire, allegedly Holocaust survivor that supposedly worked alongside the Nazis against his own people. I don't know if that allegation is true, but I've seen it many times. He's been linked to funding anti-police protests, pro-Palestinian campus agitators, which is interesting since he supposedly is Jewish, groups tied to Black Lives Matter, migrant caravans coming in through our own border, invading the country and funding that, using the Open Society Foundation, $80 million to entities in one donation, supporting pro-terror or extremist activities, including those that endorsed Hamas attacks, all of those engaging in civil disobedience. Alexander Soros, he runs the super PACs like the Democracy PAC. He's continued this legacy. He's directing millions to weaken U.S. stability. There he was in Davos bitching about Donald Trump. My thing is, here's the game plan. Here's the playbook, George. They've got to enforce FARA compliance. Singham is a prime target for that. They've got to mandate registration for Singham and his funded groups. And they ought to seize his assets here in the United States and wherever else they can get handled. Because if you don't take away their money, and if you don't take away their access to NGOs and foundations, Doge, George, did you not think when Doge started uncovering all that theft, like the $84 million that Chelsea Clinton got, where's the clawback? Where are the prosecutions? I haven't heard anything about any of the people. Remember when Doge said, there's going to be some major arrests here very quickly? and then nothing but fucking crickets. So I put that on the administration. I put that on Pam Bondi. I want Doge in full force. And if you guys can't run it in the government, give us a budget. We'll create an independent agency. Let Elon Musk create it for us. How about imposing sanctions and asset freezes, George? Why can't the Treasury Department evaluate and then start federal sanctions, freezing and seizing Singham's and Soros's U.S. assets? Why not make them, put them on the the domestic terrorist and international terrorist watch list? Kick them out of the country, take away their U.S. citizenship. I mean, where's the DOJ investigation? Where is the public up in arms? Do you want these people funding these protests, George? I mean, are you happy about people like this, whether they're using their own money or they're using stolen funds from the American taxpayer? I don't think there's any reason this should be continued to be allowed, because I think it's seditious behavior.
I wholeheartedly agree, Lance. But, well, at this point, I look at there's never every consequences. We talk about it all the time on the show. There's never fucking consequences. I mean, just let's forget about outside the country. Let's go for a minute for now inside this country. They're bringing up all Ilhan Omar stuff, the congresswoman from Minnesota. Turns out her husband's winery, the website's barely working, the phone ain't working. There's, I don't know, $5 million in money that just came in. It's crazy.
Do they even make wine, or is it just some bullshit pipe dream that they planned on funding and
they make wine like the Somali daycare centers watch children. How about that?
Yeah. Hey, you know what we need? We need an AI video for anybody in the audience of Ilhan Omar crushing grapes with her feet for the winery. We need that. We're going to have to, maybe you guys can make a winery commercial, somebody that's AI. I'm not good enough with AI. I mean, I'm good in some areas, but I don't know how to do anything with video. It'd be great. We need an Ilhan Omar wine commercial promotion. We'll play it. I mean, and you're right, George. It's ridiculous how these people are making these insane amounts of money while you guys in the audience are grinding away at your jobs. You're doing your 9-to-5s. You're doing your side hustles. Some of you have 2 jobs to pay the bills. And these fuckers are living the life of Riley. This guy's living in Shanghai, Mr. Hundreds and hundreds of million. Who knows what his total scam was? You got these 501c3s that I think are funneling money back to him. Why don't we just, it's really easy. Donald Trump, just walk in and say, all these 501c3s of Singham's and George Soros's, I want all of those stripped of their privileges. No more nonprofits for them. No more nonprofits for Reid Hoffman. Strip it away from all that. Listen, they demanded it, though. They already said that they wanted the People's Forum and Open Society Foundations. They wanted those propaganda arm money machines. The House and Ways and Means Committee, Jason, they asked them to strip it. Why is it so hard? Just go in and say, sorry, we're taking away your status. I mean, has anybody stopped the money that George Soros was stealing or the Clintons were stealing from USAID? I don't know, because we were hearing all this information. George always loves this topic. We were going to get an audit of the Fort Knox on the gold. We didn't get that. We were supposed to see arrests coming from all the Doge exposure. We didn't get that. What the fuck is going on, man?
You know what we got?
Donald Trump is a New Yorker. Act like a New Yorker, Donald Trump. Drop the hammer. Don't be a little biatch. Be a New Yorker. Start being vindictive and malicious like a New Yorker would be because New Yorkers are really specific, right? George knows this because this is where we grew up. We'll leave you alone till you fuck with us.
Fuck around and find out, bitches.
I'll do my thing until you fucking step off the curb. If you want to step up in the oncoming traffic, then you deal with the consequences. My point is, Donald Trump, go back to being a New Yorker. We don't need a popularity contest right now. As far as that bullshit in Minneapolis, drop the hammer and grab Tim Walz, grab Ilhan Omar, start snatching some people up, and don't give them bond. Don't give them self-surrender. I think, listen, there are a lot of people in the country on both sides of the aisle. There are Democrats and there are Republicans. None of us like this bullshit. I'm going to ask, if I go and ask the most staunch Democrat, if I said to him, do you like how these Somalians and all these other people are stealing millions and millions of dollars? Do you like how these people are trying to subvert our country where it's dangerous for your kids and your family? They would say to me, oh, hell no. They might not like Donald Trump. They may not like even my political beliefs. They might hate George and I's shows. Might say, I hate your show. But I bet you if I said, do you think it's okay that these people stole billions of dollars across the country and they're driving Ferraris and they're living in mansions and you helped fund it? They would answer to me, no. I fucking hate that. Most of them don't like foreigners that are acting like this. They want doctors, engineers, programmers. They want people that can add to our society, not this kind of dreck. Listen, man, I spend time over there. The skinnies, these are not good people. Okay, they're just not. I watched them up close. I watched how their clans operate and everything else. They're not good people. So anybody that says they are is lying to you. Okay, this is not what I want in the country. I don't need cartel members. I don't need gang members. I don't need people that got kicked out of prison in South America, or the Chinese putting our military in here. I don't need the Chinese owning farmland right next to military installations. I'm sick of all that bullshit. So I'm going to say this to the administration. If you're watching today, get off your ass. And if Pam Bondi can't do the fucking job, then get her out of there. You already burned up a year. A year.
Well,
they burned up a year. What arrests do we have? What transparency, accountability, and consequences are you seeing? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And this Minneapolis thing, it's a distraction. The men and women of our law enforcement should be allowed to do their job. ICE, FBI, DEA. And if those people, and I'm not saying this about ICE, if the people in the FBI don't have the balls to get it done, or we still have too many subverted underlings, then Kash Patel start cracking their asses. You are going to be the hammer. I have your book back here, Government Gangsters. Let's go to town, brother. And if those guys can't do the job, if Reid Hoffman and Singham and the Soroses are going to continue to do this shit, when are we going to see these guys get jacked? They stole money. We know they did. Yeah, they did it within the system. They gamed the system. But is it any different what the Somalians did? Is it any different than all the corruption we're seeing across the country? I'm tired of it. I don't think Donald Trump needs to win a popularity contest. I don't think the administration needs to win a popularity contest. They need to do the hard work. You know, they always say integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
How much coffee did you have this morning, bro?
Man, I don't know.
You must have had too much. Take a breath for a second. Relax for a minute. So, so back to Minnesota. You have all that chaos going on, right? What don't we have going on? We ain't talking about the Epstein files no more. All right, you ain't talking about what happened to the election. What happened to what's his name saying, in 10 days arrests are going to be there. That's why I keep saying all these people in the Trump admin that go on Fox News and saying, arrests, big things are coming in 10 days. Fuck that. They're all just giving that rhetoric.
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it. But in Minnesota, right? Are now Democrats are they now for 2A? It looks like I can say, look, Trump just trolled them. They're for 2A right now because the protester got shot. He was a legal carrier. Had his gun.
Yeah.
Now they're for him. They're protecting him. Oh, he had a legal right to have a gun. I mean, listen, if it took that little sacrifice for us to keep our 2A, I'm good for it, man. Why not?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this to Susie Wiles. No more interviews on Fox News. You're approving all these interviews.
Susie Wiles.
Yeah, I want to say this.
She don't go on there.
Next time Susie Wiles, somebody asked you to do an interview on Fox News, fuck no.
When do you
tell them
see
to go
her
do
on
their
there?
job. I had to. Tell them to go do their job. That's all I want you to do. Hey, instead of doing another interview on Fox News, Pam, how about you go make some arrests? Maybe that would be a good response for Susie. Let's roll, baby. It is what it is. Transparency, accountability, and consequences always on this show every single time. We'll expose the truth over and over and over again. Stay tuned. Be right back with George Valentine, Lance Caffeinated Migliaccio. We'll be here waiting for you. Take the live link. Share it far and wide. That's how we do it. Hit that follow button, man. Hit the follow button. Join the Big Mig Mafia. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At cspoa.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here we host Lance Migliaccio, George Ballantine. We got the Big Mig Mafia in the chat, the Big Mig Army. So if you're out there listening or watching, or if you're dancing to some of the stuff and getting caught by your boss, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, the like button, the share, the follow button. I mean, just fucking hit them all, man. Help support us. Help us grow the show. Lance, I got your volume down so low nobody could hear you because you were interrupting me. So anyways, let me give a shout out to Block Trust, our sponsor. That's why Lance and I are here to talk about, for the people who can't watch their crypto 24/7, and BlockTrustIRA.com. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to everyday people. Their exclusive Animus AI trading platform works 24/7. Analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that go far beyond buy and hold. This sophisticated technology, once reserved only for Wall Street insiders, but now it's available to you. And clients, let's check it out. They're already seeing over 250% returns on their investments, all military-grade security, and up to $200 million insurance. Your wealth is fully protected. So don't wait. Visit BigMigCrypto.com today and see how you can join this financial revolution that's finally giving everyday Americans access to the crypto opportunity of a lifetime. Once again, visit BigMigCrypto.com today and you can win up to $2,500 of free crypto. That's right, you heard me say it right. I got the QR code right here on the screen. Take a screenshot, save it to your photo files. Oops. But do it later. I got to give a shout out. This is to Mario, who's probably chilling on the couch. He's one of our, I found out he's a new listener. I don't know how long he's been listening for, but if you want to know, Mario, he's chilling on the couch with his 2, I think it's pitties. Yeah, his 2 pit bulls, Mary and Jane. Mary and Jane pit bulls. Tell me you don't like to smoke the Mary Jane, huh? What's up, Mario? Thank you for
after it. We pretty much know.
Thank you for your support, Mario. We appreciate you, bro. Catch you on the flip side. All right, Iran. What's going on in Iran? I can tell you what's not going on. People are not free. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, they released a very up-close video of the U.S. aircraft carrier, USS Abraham Lincoln, and warning, there is no use in hiding. We know your location, and our suicide drones can reach you before your aircraft takes off. Well, let me explain something to you, the Iran Revolutionary Guard. We're not fucking hiding. You're talking about an aircraft carrier group. We got subs in there.
Hide those.
We got destroyers next to it. There ain't no hiding. We want you to know we're there. I mean, come on, bring it. If you got some balls, bring it. But why, if you guys are so confident, why is your Iranian supreme leader Ali Khamenei, who's now living in an underground shelter in Tehran? Yep, that's right. And they're saying they're assessing the U.S. potential attack. U.S. attack. Okay. But how come you motherfuckers, can believe this, Lance, they use chemical weapons on their protesters?
Yeah, because they're scumbags.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, I think that when Donald Trump was talking about going in, he should have pulled the trigger right then. He should have gone in. I mean, not that he should have announced it, but I'm saying he should have just hit him.
Listen, all you gotta do is, Mossad's there ready to go. They just need the okay.
I'm just telling you,
when
you start killing your own people, and we're hearing thousands and thousands. The news is trying to downplay it because they don't want to give Donald Trump any kind of.
I think they're talking like there's 300,000.
The number is gigantic, and I'm going to tell you something. There's only one way to fix this. There's only one way you can fix evil. Evil. Let me. When you observe evil up close, and I know many people in the audience have seen evil up close in their own lives, individuals or things that have happened to them or their loved ones. This is serious. These people are not going to change. It's time to hit them. And and what the Revolutionary Guard are, why they're a bunch of dumb fucks. I'm going to tell you why they're dumb fucks. Because they're underestimating the U.S. technology. You saw it in Venezuela, and that was just
the discombobulator. That's what Trump called it. The
That's why I was laughing. Here's the deal. We know that is not some secret name, that Donald Trump pulled that out of his butt. The discombobulator. I don't know if somebody gave him that description. There's no way that our own military, and I want somebody that knows, just tell us the truth. There's no way you guys named it the discombobulator.
No, Trump probably came up with that.
Come on, man. And that doesn't even sound scary. Why couldn't they give it something like the brain melter? I mean, they should have given it a scarier name. The discombobulator just doesn't put fear. Maybe that's why the Revolutionary Guard is doing this, because they're not afraid of the act internationally. The brain melter, the soul snatcher. Come up with something that's frightening. Discombobulator just doesn't do it. But the technology we have for the Revolutionary Guard, it'll melt your freaking faces off. You guys are just kidding yourself if you think that our aircraft carrier moved there, not having technology. Your suicide drones, those are like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, dude. So you bitch asses better get ready. And I'm going to say this to the administration. Go, man. Stop letting these people get killed. Go in there. And Iran has been a freaking problem for way too long. Let's crush those people like the insects they are. Let's do it. It's time to go, man. I feel like this administration is being just too nice, George. Too nice. Let's talk about Jack Smith.
Ho. We got a video, but I just got to say, hey, Rat Dog. Oh, yeah. Rat Dog was in the chat. I think she bounced. What up, Rat Dog? I guess there's going to be another MAGA Palooza. It's going to be in Georgia this year. So see Enoch on X or True Social. He's the one that does the events. Let me play this video. Okay, spoiler alert, Iran. If you think that the U.S. didn't know that drone was above, and you don't think that they tracked that drone to where it went back home to you guys? Well, guess what? They did. You seen that when they did that in what's that country where they I forget where they shot the missiles and they tracked them from where they left off over by Egypt. You know, the fucking dumbass.
Syria?
No, one of them. I forget what it was. The name's on the tip of my tongue. Sorry.
I mean, definitely we have the tracking to do it. Let's talk about Jack Smith, George.
Yeah. So, you know, because of damn fucking Minnesota, nobody's talking about this. And I know, who's that stupid officer, Lance, that I was going with Ivan Raikland?
Oh, my God.
That officer embarrassed himself, acted like a fool, trying to act all tough.
Benone. He's a jackass.
Yeah. But, you know, Jack Smith was just fucking, every time a Republican asked him a question, I don't recall. But when Democrat asked him a question, he had a lot to say. But here's the kicker on this. People are, I don't know if they're missing this, but remember when the J6 committee said they destroyed all their documents and all that stuff? Well, here is a congresswoman asking them, did the J6 members... Jack Smith asked for a copy of all their stuff and he received it. And he's saying that they still have it all, which is what? So I don't know, Lance. Do you think the J6 members are actually shitting themselves right now, learning this?
Well, let me make a comment about that, old Jack Smith. When you didn't provide that information to the J6ers, and this is my argument, right? All these J6ers got presidential pardons, which when you get a presidential pardon, you have to admit guilt. That's the problem with a presidential pardon. In my opinion, it shouldn't do that, but that's what it does. You have to admit guilt, you take the presidential pardon, and then you get all your rights returned, right? You can get your gun rights back, your voting rights, the rest of it. So it's powerful in that way. When Jack Smith, first, when the J6 committee said they destroyed all the evidence, that's destruction of Brady material exculpatory evidence. They only kept the inculpatory evidence, which is the evidence that makes you guilty. Jack Smith, knowing that he had that stuff in his possession and he didn't supply it to the J6 defendants, that is a violation. It's called obstruction of justice. Title 1512, Title 241, 242. You're talking about deprivation of rights under color of law. There is no reason that any J6 person shouldn't have their case completely wiped out. Enrique Tarrio, all of them, because you're admitting that you had that evidence and you did not give it to the J6 defendants to defend themselves. That is crimes on multiple levels. Misprisions of a felony. It is it's malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance by a government official. There is no reason that any J6er, even the ones that are sitting in jail right now because they still haven't been released, because there's some of them that they hit with other charges when they raided and found evidence. Enough's enough. J6ers should have all their cases overturned and they should be written a check, because this is serious. You're talking about a special prosecutor that hid information. The J6 committee admitted to destroying it. I want to see more action. Pam Bondi, when are you going to reverse all these charges? That's what I want to know. When are you going to reverse them all? Because this is an admittance of Brady material.
Can she reverse them, or a judge has to do it?
Listen, she could submit. We're going to go ahead and we're going to vacate and dismiss with prejudice. Every one of these people should refer vacatur and dismissal with prejudice, because this is two acknowledgments of people hiding exculpatory evidence. That's not supposed to happen. They don't need presidential pardons. They need their entire criminal history wiped out, case vacated, and the U.S. government needs to write them all a check. All right, let's go, George.
Play a clip.
The January 6th committee failed to archive or preserve its video recordings of witness interviews, deleting or destroying as many as 900 interview summaries or transcripts involving more than 1 full terabyte of digital data. I repeat, the J6th committee destroyed evidence. Let that sink in. Why would they do such a thing? I think we have a dang good idea. The committee actually used selective clips from these videos and transcripts during their hearings, and yet by destroying this evidence, they have denied Congress and the public the ability to obtain their full content and context. They created their narrative by selective use of the evidence before them. So how very convenient. Did you or your team receive any of those witness transcripts or video recordings of transcribed interviews from the Select Committee that were not released to the public?
What I can tell you is that I requested J.P. Cooney to contact the Select Committee.
Do you know if you received any of the evidence or testimony that the J6 committee eventually destroyed?
I don't have any information that the J6 committee
You don't know
destroyed
one way
any
or
of it.
the other as you sit here today.
No, what I'm telling you is that I requested all the information we could get from the January 6th.
Has all of the information that you requested been preserved? All of the information from the J6 committee, has that been preserved?
The information that we requested and received, we reviewed it. It was
Has it
part of
been
our file.
preserved?
Yes.
Oof. Now, we don't know what he received, but the fact that he had this information, and we've heard over and over again, because, you know, we've had many J6ers on the show, over and over again, how they weren't provided information, how many times video was missing in their file, but they found the video in another file. It was selective evidence, and you can't do that when you're facing a criminal case. The DOJ is supposed to give you all the evidence,
so
not pick and choose.
I just want to stipulate something. So J6ers started getting arrested sometime in 2021. I don't know what month they started, but 2021 is when Biden took office. It was his DOJ, Merrick Garland. They're the ones that went after him, not Trump, because somebody said it was Trump's DOJ, but it wasn't. So, you know, a little small thing. All right, let's go back. What do we got? Trump. We all know he's explaining election fraud, explained in simple terms. He put this video up on True Social. Well, we all know that why they were bringing illegal immigrants in by the millions upon millions. They wanted more votes. Nothing. No big surprise. I don't know. Is Trump just learning this now that he put it up, or you just want to help expose him? I'm gonna play the clip, Lance.
Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
Oh, man.
And we told you that. Ghost voter pool, right? Buy their loyalty. Destroy the country. Bring in scumbags. Put them all over the country. Don't have any idea where they're at. Now ICE is out there trying to find them. It's ridiculous. And isn't that a crime? Isn't that subversion of the country? Isn't that intentional damage? Isn't that malfeasance and misfeasance as a government official? Participating in this, funding it through all kinds of dark money pools, USAID and otherwise? Yeah, it is. All right. This is a story you might not have heard much about. 1 billion dirty money empire exposed. We're talking about the Venezuelan mastermind caught laundering through USDT on Tron. So using the cryptocurrency, this is a major crackdown on Venezuelan crime, financial crimes, of course, cryptocurrency related crimes. This Venezuelan national, Jorge Luis Figuera, 59-year-old Miami resident and former banking executive, was charged on January 9th, 2026 with conspiracy to commit money laundering. They unsealed the case in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. Of course, the allegation is that Figuera orchestrated a sophisticated scheme to launder over $1 billion in illicit funds using stablecoins. The specific stablecoin, Tether, which of course you know is on the Tron blockchain. He used shell companies and U.S. bank accounts. So an undercover FBI confidential source in October of 23 believed he was facilitating the movement of proceeds from counterfeit merchandise sales and narcotics trafficking. But the operation was actually a sting that led to his arrest. Of course, he was boasting about all he'd done for Venezuela, which, of course, you guys know is a heavy cash economy. So what? Yeah. So here's more reasons that the U.S. government went into Venezuela.
Sorry.
Money laundering. You see the detailed breakdown of the scheme, the cell phone. So you're talking about stable coins, which of course have been used often for large scale money laundering operations as they become incredibly stable and highly, speed is one of the top reasons you would use them. But there's a lot of gaps in our own U.S. banking regulations. But Venezuela, getting around U.S. sanctions, a great system to do so for. And I'm happy we had confidential sources. The FBI actually got it right this time, so that's always great. But look, listen to these. So he had companies, he had all these shell companies, Red A Holdings, Unique Finance LLC, Unique Finance Holdings Inc., Lumar Prestige Corp., Falcon Financial, Bastion Trading, PMT Sports Management. He managed all those from allegedly from Miami. But there are other unindicted co-conspirators. There's a Panama and Venezuela-based operators and co-conspirators. That information hasn't been released yet. It's a big thing. And of course, they used cash drops and conversions. They were laundering money for the Venezuelan government and other individuals in Venezuela. They used, of course, counterfeit goods. Was what he thought he was going to be doing, but of course, he'd already been doing other operations. This is a big story, George, and it's funny. I haven't seen the mainstream media covering much of this.
Hold on. Oh, I mean,
$700 million a month, George.
You don't hear him talking about Venezuela at all anymore. Everything's Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Everything's Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota, nice. I used to Minnesota. Getting kind of tired of it. Maybe we just need to get rid of Minnesota. Make it easier. Maybe.
So he was using WhatsApp.
Can we give Minnesota to Canada and maybe switch?
Yeah.
Like one of the
make them part of Canada. We could trade for another part of Canada. I like Montreal. Let's take it. Big stuff here. I think this is important that this is not in the news cycle.
And don't ask me to take one for the team because I'm not fucking doing it. I'm just letting you know, right? I already know what you were thinking, what you were going to say beforehand. See? I know because he's laughing. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. You could take the kid out of the Bronx. You can't take the Bronx out of the kid. That's how it works. Kid Rock, George, I think he solved the questions about low birth rates.
He didn't solve them. Maybe.
You've said this many times, but the truth of the matter is he's over the target. He's gone on national TV to disclose it. Why are our birth rates extremely low, George?
Because nobody wants to bang these liberal women. They're freaking... Listen, some of them may be hot looking, all right? But with that personality and their beliefs, it makes them fucking ugly. I'm just letting you know.
But a lot of them are ugly, broke, and angry.
I don't know if they're broke. Are they broke?
An angry woman. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of liberal women, they're working in the city or corporate jobs and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't have statistics.
We're talking about all the weird ones you see on TikTok with the pink hair and the piercings.
Yeah, because all the smarter ones are working in corporate. Why would they want to? Why would they go to a protest, freeze their ass off for a couple $100 when they're making more than that in a corporate office or something?
And on the liberal side of the politics, a lot of guys that want to sleep with guys, right? I mean, they don't really want to sleep with women. So conservative America is having babies, but it seems like the liberal side isn't. Let's play the clip.
When you play your concerts, do you ever see anybody with blue hair, armpit hair, female armpit hair. Some of these people we're looking at, kid, I don't know.
Man, listen, I was just watching your clips, and we have this low birth rate in America, and it all made sense to me. It just hit me right now, because who's going to sleep with these ugly-ass, broke, crazy, deranged, TDS liberal women? I mean, you look at these rallies, it's like a bunch of women that no guy wants to sleep with and a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with each other.
Have you seen what Comey...
Can't say the man.
I think he's over the target on that one. Probably going to get a lot of turmoil out of that, but I appreciate it. I'd shake his hand for it. George, you've said it. You noticed that even in New Jersey, you were aware that your own machines in New Jersey were connected to the internet.
I had that
and
video.
now there's more.
Yep. How long have we been saying it? A lot of people have been saying it. Oh, you're crazy. No, they're not. Voting machines were connected to the internet. We got a clip here where it shows Sprint and Verizon. These people, this is how blatant they are. They actually labeled the Ethernet ports. And these were directly found on U.S. Voting machines. When they told us, oh, they're not connected to the internet. They can't be connected.
And they found 35 voting machines across the U.S. that are still connected to the internet. There isn't any election going on, but they're still connected. They found them actually on the internet.
Well, they have to keep.
When is this going to stop?
They have to keep them connected because they're working on, another way to get them hacked.
Oh, the new cheat? Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, they got to have access. They don't want to go there in person.
This is a long clip, too. This is NBC's. Wow, this is on NBC?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Shocker. All right, let's play it.
Why is there a Sprint thing here and a Verizon thing here?
Our voting machines are not connected to the internet.
Those are not connected. Voting machines themselves are not connected to the internet.
And we knew that wasn't true.
And cybersecurity expert Kevin Skoglund wanted to prove it. So he and 9 other independent security consultants created their own search engine looking for election systems online.
We found over 35 had been left online, and we're still continuing to find more.
I'm not suggesting that you guys had modems in your tabulators, but what I want to point out with that is the CEO actually testified before the Senate that they had no connection, and yet it's verifiable in emails and so on that they had connections. So with that in my mind, I'm sitting here going, yes, they're telling folks here there is no connection. So I looked into a little bit more of what was going on with this specific equipment, the model that you guys have. And what I discovered was that there are features inside this particular Dell model that can be used for remote access capabilities. There are 6 USB ports. 2 of them allow for waking up the computer with various things that occur on those 2 ports. And there's actually 6 ports in use on the EMS here in Ontario County. And something I haven't been able to do, but would like to be able to do with the appropriate authority, is to find out a little bit more about what those are connected to. The reason is those 2 ports can wake up the machine when you don't expect it to, and it can be woken up because of specific technology that's in this machine where it doesn't turn on the screen. And it can be woken up because of specific technology that's in this machine where it doesn't turn on the screen. So the computer's there, it's off doing things, and you don't know because the screen's not on, okay?
Voting machines themselves are not designed to be online. So how are some voting systems getting online? We got a first-hand look when we visited ES&S, the largest manufacturer of voting machines, and talked to CEO Tom Burt.
Okay, why is there a Sprint thing here and a Verizon thing here?
There's a small percentage of jurisdictions in the country, a lot of them are in Florida, who have decided that they want to modem unofficial results to the election office.
You know, you do wonder sometimes whether or not our thirst for quick results sometimes may be interfering with our thirst for accurate results.
You know, Cynthia, that's not my place to judge that one again. These jurisdictions have a need for that.
ES&S insists while there are 14,000 of its modems in use, there are firewalls separating those modems from the public internet, and that the modems are turned on for just seconds. But Skoglund says that's not enough.
We're seeing Illinois and Michigan.
Last summer, Skoglund's team found ES&S voting systems online in at least some of the precincts in 11 states, including the battleground states of Florida, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
If you were able to get inside these systems, could you do more than perhaps mess up the preliminary results? Could you actually get deeper inside the system?
Absolutely, and that's my biggest concern.
Top computer scientist Andrew Appel agrees with Skoglund.
Once a hacker starts talking to the voting machine through the modem, they can hack the software in the voting machine and make it cheat in future elections.
In August, Skoglund took his results to election officials and the press, assuming the systems would get taken down. We were astonished when he showed us some of those systems are still online.
Modems in voting machines are a bad idea. Those modems are network connections, and that leaves them vulnerable to hacking by anybody who can connect to that network.
We should make sure that voting machines are not connected to the internet.
Period.
Period.
The good news, Lester, experts told us most of the country votes with paper and pencil. Those ballots counted by scanners without modems. That means audits and recounts are possible. Now, having said that, they urge jurisdictions using modems and touchscreens to get rid of them.
What? Most of the country is using paper and pencil.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay,
machines here in Colorado.
Even if doesn't matter, because all they need to do is get into the ones that use machines and fucking hack them. So
yeah,
that's I call bullshit.
Crazy stuff. All right. Well, you know the big news, of course, drones. You hear it constantly. Drones this, suicide drones that, blah blah blah. Well, of course, don't think that the criminals aren't seeing all the media and are thinking exactly, wow, how can we use that technology for our operations?
I would go on The View and set those cunts straight. Somebody said Big Mig on The View. Hell yeah, what? I would do that.
We'll definitely go on there. Happy to do
set
it.
Them
Love
bitches
to run a
straight.
Gun. They wouldn't be very happy with us. That's for sure. We got done.
I'll bring some gags to gag them so they can't just yap away too.
No, you know what you should just do? Just bring a bunch of snacks and let them just stuff their faces. Looks like they're already doing that anyway. Look at Whoopi Goldberg. She's colossal. All right. Anti-drone system recovered, of course, the cartels embracing the technology. Now, this is unsettling because this is a military-grade anti-drone equipment that was covered in a confrontation with some, it looks like Jalisco, new cartel sicarios. Of course, they're assassination experts. This took place in the municipality of San Ignacio. They seized this Skyfend. It's called a Skyfend CUAS kit, a high-tech anti-drone system. This was in the possession of members of this criminal group. They were carrying specialized equipment. Of course, it's capable of detecting, jamming, and spoofing drones. This is military grade, far superior to the common commercial jammers. So you get the Hunter, which is an anti-drone device with touchscreen capable of detecting and neutralizing drones within a radius of up to 3 kilometers. The spoofer, that spoofs the GPS signal of the drone, creating no-fly zone for drones with an approximate range of 2 kilometers. And the Guider, all part of the same system. It's an AI-powered CUAS platform operating 24/7 for detection and airspace control. It's used by armed forces in various countries, including the Mexican Army, which shows you the high level of sophistication that these cartels are operating under. Close to 100,000 for this system. We've also got that image, and you can see it now. I've told you multiple times.
Lance, do we know where the system was made?
Well, this one is purchased by the Mexican government. I do not have the manufacturer of it.
Okay, got it.
What they're doing is they're saying, how did the cartel get their hands on it? Because this is a unit used by the Mexican government and other governments around the globe. You can see the backpack, very sophisticated system. And we told you that these cartels are starting to look like special forces. They are so well equipped. Do not underestimate what we're dealing with. The U.S. government, I've said it many times, if Claudia Sheinbaum, the Mexican president, can't get her shit together, then let's do what we got to do, because this money that they made under the Biden administration is being put into some of the best weapons on the globe. This is just more proof of it. George, you and I have covered this on the show many, many times about how sophisticated the cartels are getting.
I mean, Lance, remember when you broke that story about the stingers on the dark net? You could buy them. You got all the receipts and everything. So I mean, it doesn't help any better that the U.S. left all that equipment in Afghanistan.
Agreed.
Pallets of cash too. Damn. Why can't we get some? Lance, I got
get pallets of cash.
I got a quick question.
Yes.
Did you bowl, or do you bowl, or can you bowl?
I did bowl years ago. I used to go to moonlight bowling a lot when we were younger because, of course, you could win money. It was always fun to go with your friends, which was started at midnight in New York. So you could go out for a little while, then you could go midnight bowling. So I did some bowling over the years. I was decent when I was young. I haven't bowled in years, though.
Okay.
Why? Because my head's shaped like a bowling ball? What? What?
Somebody asked about us about bowling or something if we bowl.
Yeah. I did years ago. It's been a long time. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Casey DeSantis, George.
Yeah, this has got to be alarming. I don't get this. She said the Florida Health Department found dangerous levels of arsenic in candies like Jolly Ranchers, Nerds, etc. And she goes on, out of the 33 traditional brands, 26 tested that arsenic was are at elevated levels. Wait, what the fuck is arsenic even doing in candy?
Exactly. How the hell is it getting in there to begin with, unless they're putting it in there intentionally to poison us? I mean, we're finding out so much stuff that you have to ask yourself, George, it's such a valid thing. How the frick does arsenic even get into the plant that's making candy? Where does it come from?
I mean, I like the way she quoted it. She said, but the brands tested arsenic was detected at elevated levels. What the fuck? It shouldn't be any levels. That's what I don't get it.
Zero. Isn't the only level the zero?
Can anybody in the chat tell me why there's even a low level of arsenic in candy? What is it? Is there something?
Why is arsenic in the manufacturing plant at all? Where is it coming from? Unless they're putting it there. Listen, they tested 46 candies from 10 companies. They tested Nerds and Sweet Fish and Jolly Ranchers and Snickers.
Somebody said arsenic in the soil, but candy doesn't come. No, I don't know.
I mean, Swedish Fish, Jolly Ranchers, Snickers, Kit Kat, and Twizzlers were some of the ones
it's all
with
fucking
arsenic
sugar and flavoring.
And they exceed the safe annual exposure for kids, which I don't even know. I mean, this is and Reese's peanut butter cups. By the way, Reese's peanut butter cups are safe. You can eat those. Those pass cleanly. I like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Farmer, so do I. They're my favorite. Farmer said it may not be in the candy recipe. It may be leaching in from the wrapper. What the fuck's it doing in the wrapper?
Exactly.
I don't get it, man. I'm a little confused on this one. I'm playing a clip. I mean, because shit. Maybe it's just a way to fucking frighten kids and parents that don't give them candy and no cavities. I don't know.
So under this initiative, as the governor has mentioned, we started with baby formula because there is no more vulnerable population than, of course, the babies and the youngest among us. The Florida Department of Health, we tested 24 different baby formulas, and then what they found was very troubling. They found that in 16 of the 24, they contained elevated levels of arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and lead. And for many infants, formula is their sole source of nutrition during the critical stages of development. And this, of course, for us and for many parents and grandparents, this is unacceptable. And we made it clear that this testing, and we're continuing to work on that with the baby formula, but that is not where we're going to stop. We said we're going to continue to do the testing. And so next, as promised, the attention has turned to another category heavily consumed by children, and that is candy. Through independent testing conducted by certified laboratories, the Florida Department of Health tested 46 different candy brands from 10 different companies. Of those, 33 were traditional, well-known candies, brands that we grew up with, things like Three Musketeers and Snickers and Skittles and Nerds and Kit Kats and Jolly Ranchers. In 26 of the 33 traditional candy brands tested, arsenic was detected at elevated levels. These levels are problematic when evaluated over the course of a year, and this is where the distinction is so crucially important. The concern here is not necessarily about one single piece of candy on one single day. The concern is when these products are consumed, as they realistically are, repeatedly over time, exposure can exceed what the Department of Health has determined to be safe annual allotment for arsenic. And here's why the context really matters. Take Nerds, for example. Yes, my daughter really likes Nerds. According to the department's analysis, consuming more than 96 Nerds, the small granular pieces of Nerds in a year, exceeds what is considered a safe annual arsenic exposure for children. But 96 Nerds, as we well know, is not typically what comes in a box when you think about it. A typical smaller box can contain about 2,000. If you get one of those big boxes that you get like a movie theater, that's about 8,000 Nerds. Asking families to stop at 96 pieces over a year is not realistic when it's viewed against how the product is packaged, marketed, and then consumed. Another example to give you context and perspective is Swedish fish. The Department of Health determined that more than 8 pieces of Swedish fish exceed the estimated safe annual arsenic exposure level for a child. Yet in a typical small bag, usually 3 to 5 ounces, there are anywhere from 50 to 100 pieces. Stopping at 8 pieces does not reflect the real-world consumption. The same with Jolly Ranchers. The hard candies also kids love. The department's analysis shows that more than 6 pieces can exceed the annual safe threshold for arsenic exposure. A standard 7-ounce bag typically contains anywhere from 25, 30, 40 individually wrapped candies. And on it goes through 26 different.
So, thanks, Plants Heal, for the heads up. I guess he looked it up and said in the chat, and I looked it up too. It says arsenic can be in candy primarily as an environmental contaminant, often absorbed by ingredients like rice or cocoa from soil and water. Well, remember all them years fucking trick-or-treating? And you had to let your parents check the candy? Well, a lot good that fucking did.
Yeah, exactly.
We're getting poisoned anyway. What did it matter if it came from some pedo
look,
or
if
the
you're
government?
manufacturing it, I'm sure you could come up with a system to take the arsenic out of it. I mean, wow. All right, well.
I don't know. Can you? If it's in the corn?
More reason not to eat candy. There's
Hold on,
lots of
Lance.
reasons.
Hold on. If it's in the soil and the water and the plants growing the corn or whatever the shit is, rice is grown in it and it's absorbed into the material, then how would you get it out of the material?
I'd have to believe you'd be able to filter it in some process. There's got to be a way. If you can identify the arsenic, you should be able to.
Now you're talking a lot of money. Now that candy's be expensive and then kids can't afford it and then they're not going to eat it.
I got an idea. How about you?
You know who's pissed right now? You know who's really pissed? The dentist.
Yeah, kidding. Cutting into his wallet.
What?
All right, let's talk about more jaw-dropping betrayal by the Democrats. No surprise, right? More theft. George, tell me what's going on here.
More theft, but no consequences. Trump's HUD Secretary, Scott Turner, he actually unveiled this information. I mean, it's crazy. Betrayal by the Democrats. I'm going to go over the list. Over $5 billion in payment errors, over $50 billion in total rental assistance in 2024 alone. Money went to 30,000 dead people.
Nice.
Government-backed mortgages went to non-citizens. Public houses went to illegal aliens. I mean, the fucking list just goes on and on. And this is why they were so opposed to Doge and fighting it. For these reasons,
when
right
they were
here.
attacking Elon Musk.
All right, let's play the clip.
We eliminated non-permanent residence eligibility for FHA-insured mortgages. And we are auditing public housing authorities to ensure taxpayer dollars don't support illegal aliens. American dollars should benefit American citizens and American citizens only. By focusing on our core mission, HUD provided a pathway for home ownership and supported housing affordability for more than 1 million Americans through FHA and Ginnie Mae. We also take stewardship very seriously, so we're cracking down on waste and fraud and abuse. Our Office of the Chief Financial Officer uncovered more than $5 billion in potential payment errors, over $50 billion in total rental assistance for the fiscal year 2024. And that includes money that went to nearly 30,000 dead people. That is ludicrous. It's ridiculous to even think or talk in such a way. It's a violation of our sacred trust to American taxpayers, and it has to end, and it will.
It will end until another Democrat comes in. Let me tell you something. right now, there's no way Republicans are going to win the House in the midterms. There's no way. And you know what, Lance? I should have brought that up earlier. My bad. That is the reason why you're seeing these paid protests in Minnesota, is to discourage and discredit Trump and the admin so the Democrats can win the House back this year. And then you'll see all impeachment hearings, and you'll see so many fucking hearings. And pay attention when it does. And look at the difference from the hearings, what they do and what gets done, to what the Republicans do and what they get done. Because Republicans ain't gotten shit done. Unless they got a card, unless they got something.
I hear that. But you do have to be some kind of an idiot to vote for the Democrats, the thieving, scummy, shitty, elitist Democrats.
You know what,
Lance?
Lance?
Really have to be.
The Democrats.
I'm not saying the Republicans are much better. Just
no, but the Democrats are a lot better at using social media, at using the press, because the press are in on it too. So all they're going to just keep showing is, listen, when it's time for the midterms, all right, and you're going to see all the commercials. What are you going to see? You're going to see those two people getting shot by ICE all the time. You're going to see that, because you're going to see two Americans shot by ICE. Now, you're not going to see illegals, because that's not going to win it for them. But when you show the Americans, that's what you're going to see. Mark my word. I already know.
I know you're right. At the end of the day, I don't really love either party. But if you want to win the midterms, arrest a bunch of people. Start arresting the shit out of these congressional members. Nancy Pelosi just did some more insider stock trading. Let's start seeing some arrests, man. Put these people behind bars and don't let them out. No bond. They're all flight risks. That's it. All right.
Close out, bro.
Last story. I want to do this because I'm trying to get a doctor that actually does this service here in the United States on. Dana White revealing elites are flying to Tijuana for a secret blood filtering procedure. Not so much a secret, but well known.
You can't get in the U.S.?
Well, I found a guy that does it here in the U.S. I actually looked it up. I'm trying to get him on the show. Unbelievable what they can pull out of your blood. But let's put on Dana White, and then we'll go on here just for a minute, because we also have Kevin O'Leary, who is flying to Dubai to get this done. And I guess he goes there regularly to get this done. So it's basically a form of blood filtering. It uses a modified form of oxygen called ozone, combined with a dialysis filter to clean the blood of toxins like microplastics, heavy metals, mold, spike proteins, biofilm, which is lime, and kills any bacteria or fungi or virus in the bloodstream. I understand it also kills parasites. Maybe it'll even pull the arsenic out of your bloodstream. I have no idea. I'm not an expert. We're going to try to get an expert on. Here in the U.S., costs about $1,300. Out of the country, I don't know what they're charging. Let's play both clips, George, right in a row.
They have this thing down in Tijuana where you go in and they literally put a fucking needle into your
in your neck.
Yeah, your what is it?
Jugular.
Carotid, your jugular. And it's a 3-day process, and they literally put your blood through a machine, and it filters your blood, and then puts your blood back into your body. And this thing it's supposed to be incredible for people who have cancer.
Oh my God.
And it gets all this shit out of your blood, like metals and mold and all these different toxins and all this stuff. And, you know, Stephen A. Smith and Steve Harvey both told me that when they did it, like, their eyesight was better, their hearing was better, and they felt so much better.
Now I got to go do this.
Yeah. They asked me to go with them when they were doing it. I said, I don't have time to sit down there for 3 days. But I'm going to try to do it this year.
This is my 4th time. I come here every time I come to Dubai. Anytime I come to the UAE, I make sure I take at least half a day to come here. The great thing about the procedure here is you can measure it almost immediately in how you feel. You start to feel really good, and it doesn't take a long time. And for me, longevity means 2 things. It's mobility and cognitive health.
I'm confused because first video said it takes 3 days. John O'Leary says he makes sure he takes a half a day when he goes to Dubai to get it done.
Mm-hmm. There's more than one process, I guess. That's what I learned, is that some people are doing it different than other ones. The guy in Florida, I didn't look at the length of time, but he's a doctor. He has a longevity clinic. I'm going to try to get him on the show for an interview. Down there in Florida, they said it takes about 90 minutes and it's 1,300. But when I looked online about EBOO, and that's what it's called, EBOO, in Dubai, and I looked at some of the, there's some disparities, and maybe there's different processes, George, but pretty interesting. And of course, probably effective, oxygenating your blood using ozone, and it's killing things and pulling out microplastics and heavy metals. We all have microplastics in us from our environment. So we'll
so this cleans your kidneys and filter. So, because somebody put in a chat, glomerular filtration. It says the kidney's initial process of filtering blood, removing waste and excess fluid to form urine via the whatever the word is. I don't even know. Glomerular. I don't know.
Anyway, interesting stuff. We'd like to get it covered on the show. So we're going to try to bring in an expert to talk about it, because I think you guys should know. Screw the elites. I want you guys to know here on our audience. So if you like the show, you know what to do. Thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. If you can do the $5 subscription, please do. If you can do a Rumble Rant tip on the way out the door, please do. Well, all that goes back into supporting the show. And if you want to jump into Chris Pavlovsky's feed over on X and tell him you love the show and you'd like to see more of us, that kind of stuff always helps. Tell them about the Big Mig. Remind them we'd like to see more of them on the platform. Now, remember, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m., you become part of the Big Mig Mafia. That's Eastern Standard. Of course, the Crypto Power Hour, 7 a.m. on Wednesday. So tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. on Fridays, #1 crypto show on Rumble. If you'd like to sponsor the show, info@thebigmig.com. Find us on social media. Follow us. It is what it is. George B. Last words on the way out.
Please, Lainey. What's her name? Hold on. Lainey from Texas. Yes, please. You can give us that name. I like to just look it up and say, y'all have a blessed day. We'll catch you tomorrow morning for the Crypto Power Hour, 7 a.m. and then the Big Mig Show at 11 a.m. Later, Gators.
I might have to let it drop. Said, gotta do hella big, had to put it back again, like said, had to bring it hella big, had to put it.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA. The future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on earth.
These canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org